Welcome to my fight show. There I am. Now I'm big. Welcome to my fight show. Live Tuesday nights across the Cage Minds social media. We appreciate you being here tonight. Tell you guys, it has been a wild day. There's been a lot of discussions, I'd say, for weeks. And I'm not going to do the BKFC thing fully for you guys, but we will have big news and a major announcement coming up on Cage Minds. Something huge this weekend. But for tonight, strap your seats in. We have a huge show going around the world of combat sports. There were some things from last weekend we definitely got to touch on. There's some things coming up this weekend we're interested in. We got some people, definitely interesting ones that are going to be here. One of them, our first guest I'm planning, Johnny Tapai Jr., successful pro debut at the Borg Brawl. So we're going to get to talk to Johnny Tapai Jr. and hear what it meant to return to his hometown, now residing in Las Vegas, and get that 1-0 going on his resume, a huge step for Johnny Jr. We're also going to follow him up with Andreas the Bullet Quintana, getting back to his MMA career. The Bullet's going to bang. UFC Fight Pass, January 30th. It's Fury FC 114 taking on Austin Lugo, a UFC vet repping Fortis MMA from that Dallas area. The crew from Borg MMA and Fitness has somewhere between 6 to 7. Yeah, 6 to 7. Yeah, we just said that. Fighters on the card being represented from the gym. We plan to also talk with Iyean Varela. We had Andreas on earlier. That's a pre-record. You guys will definitely see him. Iyean Varela going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show. And in our main event segment, the final interview placement of the night, we are going to have the continuation of what we started this past Saturday on Mike Adams 2.0. Lucky enough to be joined in studio, Ross Forman, Nic Nemeth, FAKA the former Dolph Ziggler, and Mara Sade, the former Jakara Jackson in WWE NXT. All three of them joined me live in studio at ESPN Radio. We talked on Saturday. We did Mike Adams 2.0. And then we said, this was so much fun. Let's do a second part. We have that coming up for you guys tonight. So boxing, MMA, pro wrestling interviews, all on tap. Also told you guys earlier in the week that there would be details on how you can win. We have 2 sets of tickets available Thursday, February 22nd, live on AMC. The first time TNA Impact Wrestling is live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been watching their product for about 15 years, different iterations, different channels it's been on. It's one of the top 4 biggest pro wrestling promotions in the world. And to see them bringing what they're doing with the new platform that is showing faith in them, or for new to them with AMC. We all know it from The Walking Dead, iconic and classic. And now TNA Wrestling will also be on that platform. So I'm super stoked for you guys to see, like, one of the funnest things I've ever done, getting to talk with someone that's been around the business for many a decades in Ross Forman, Nic Nemeth, who is so well traveled, and Mara Sade, one of the brightest young stars in the women's division. We'll make this announcement a couple times throughout the night because I can see how unpopulated everything is this evening. Telling you guys right now, probably my fault. I wasn't able to get a reminder graphic out to tell everybody we'd be live tonight. Got trapped on some other projects. Tell you what, we'll bring this up a couple times tonight. Like the episode, share the episode, comment on this episode, and you guys are entered to win a pair of tickets for the TNA Impact Wrestling tapings. Also, think I want to do a little bit of a pop quiz. If you guys can name me who was the first TNA heavyweight champion and the current TNA heavyweight champion. As of right now, when we're talking, you'll win the other set. 2 sets, 2 different contests going on. Like, share, comment to be entered in to win 1 set. Let me know who the first TNA Impact heavyweight champion was and who the current one is to win the other set. Both of these contests apply to people within the Duke City area, Albuquerque. No, we're not forgetting about you, Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, Berlin. If you guys plan on making it up Thursday for the show, you could have the opportunity to win these tickets. Got a lot going on tonight, and none of it would be possible, especially that TNA Impact interview that we're going to have later, without the help of Robbie Gutierrez. Robbie Ray Images, spectacular job. I mean, he just absolutely knocked it out of the park this past weekend at Tapia Promotions. Borg Brawl. Go over to the Facebook page or the Instagram. Instagram, much limited, 120 album burst we put up. Over on the Facebook page, you'll see the entire album from Robbie Ray Images. Thank you, Robbie Ray Media, for the video you guys are going to be seeing here later. We are about a month away. I think we're 4 weeks away from Valentine's Day, February 14th. So, of course, for that date, you want to dress to impress. You want to look your best. And I know where you need to go to get that look. It's get on over to Barber Gabe's Fades. It's 100 Cars Boulevard, Northwest, Lobo Plaza, Suite 107. It's Barber Gabe's Fades.net to book your appointment. It's a holiday like Valentine's Day just around the corner. You know you want to look your best. Gotta love those guys. And when you're over booking your appointment at barbergabesfades.net, that's where you can also check out the Beard Balm. Gonna be honest, I'm a little bit lacking today, everybody. It's not in, but the best beard balm I've tried. Incredible cherry scent over there at barbergabesfades.net. This past weekend, the action was exciting. We had the Borg Brawl, and some of it was as expected, guys. Influencers and pro boxers in a multitude of these scenarios. Johnny Tapai Jr., who we'll be talking to a little bit later, I had asked him about the weigh-ins. I said, well, we started off with actually asking his opponent, Swade the Plug, what we could expect from an influencer. You know, he was going to come in there, give a great response, have some energy, said he was going to make it a war. Turned to Mr. Tapia and said, is it really going to be a war? He said he was prepared for a war. War was not needed as the body shots took care of the plug. He was disconnected from the outlet, and Johnny Tapai Jr. quickly into the win column. The length, the body shots, not going to overblow this. He came out and did what was expected. You have a much more novice performer in front of you, a much more novel pugilist. You're not taking on a true professional. You needed to come out and dominate. And that's exactly what Tapia Jr. was able to do. Nico Tapia, his brother, went a little bit deeper, had to go all the way to the judges' scorecards. We'll credit Ace the Plug, a very savvy game plan. Wasn't fully getting all the way to the knees like Jake Paul, but it was very much in that same Jake Paul mode of going after the takedown, getting in that clinch. Can we nullify what's happening versus perpetuating the conflict and what is going on? Even though Nico was unloading with big power, trying to load up that shot, he was not able to connect with it and let Ace the One survive all the way to the judge's decision. Not the kind of performance he wanted. Does get the result, does get that desired 1-0. You got to wonder what's next for the young Tapia brothers. We're going to be talking to Johnny Tapai Jr. here in just a few minutes, and hopefully he can give us some insight onto where and what direction he would like to take his career next. The card also saw Yoruba Maru Jr. He climbs to 3-0. I don't even know if we got to say climbs because it was, again, one-way traffic. It was a one-round destruction. It was what we expected, having a short notice opponent driving in from Michigan due to circumstances of either him or his teammate not feeling comfortable with flying. The devastation, the destruction. Slim Reaper taking the body and putting it in a grave. Yoruba Romuru Jr., the exact kind of impressive, dominant, systematic destruction that we were expecting, that continues to build that prospect label that is on his name, and can't wait to see where he is going next in the boxing ring. We're going to be getting with him sooner than later to find out what his next step is. And in the main event, it was a short notice change of opponents. It was also ripping body shots. There was a theme on the night of how you wanted to get opponent out of there and to get it done. Cody East absolutely mauls Keyshawn Jackson, put him in the corner, put the work in, gets the victory, back in that win column for Cody. Congratulations. Last year, 2025 BKB Fight of the Year. He's had a tremendous couple years cleaning up on the regional scene, and already got news that if we want to know what's next for him, it's actually going to be a trip to Fury FC. Have more details on that shortly. But Cody East returning to MMA and a promotion that's on UFC Fight Pass. So after boxing matches, the Peak FC title, a foray into BKB, well, actually two. Now we see him back on a more prominent MMA fixture. A lot of work, not just in the cage and as a fighter, but a lot of work that has been put in emotionally, spiritually, for Cody East to mature, to really grow into this kind of athlete. So really proud of how he was able to get this victory, and even more proud of the job that he has outside of the fight game and the way that he's honed in with his family life. Somebody that has had more than a tumultuous history here in the state, and with stepping outside of the lines, it's good to see that all of that has turned around in such a marvelous fashion. Bailey's first BKB Fight Night. BKB Fight Night Live went down this past weekend in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we saw the legend, the former title challenger, experience in traditional boxing and with the ungloved variety. Monica Medina outworks Monica Franco to get the decision win in what has now been officially announced as her retirement fight from the sport of bare knuckle. Medina not walking away from competition. She is putting the gloves back on. You normally hang them up. She is putting them back on, going back to the traditional route of boxing, and we'll see how that's able to pan out. It was her aggressive style. Well, Franco tried as hard as she could to land counters. It was the aggression and the pressure of Medina making the difference. The co-main event, Martin Brown now posts 2 victories against Bobby Taylor, slicing, dicing. Who knows which cut, which closed eye led to the stoppage, but an absolutely impressive performance for Martin Brown with a more systematic destruction and devastating accuracy than what we saw Jeremy Stevens be able to do to Bobby Taylor. So a huge feather in the cap for Martin Brown. Also looking at that card, if there's one person who also stood out, it was Ryan Jett. You look at his absolute destruction, swift uppercuts. I was really impressed with what we saw on the BKB card. The first Bailey's Fight Night, you're able to go to the Bailey'sSportsLive.com to watch this one for free. So huge turn of events on what we were able to see come out from that victory. We also had Real American Freestyle. Yes, they had an event this past weekend, and no surprise to many, Colby Covington, tech fall, 12-0, absolute dominant victory over Luke Rockhold. I wondered if Rockhold's size would be anything to halt, hurt, be something to give any kind of speed bump to Colby Covington. But Colby, the more experienced, the more technical wrestler, he came in, he had his way with the sport. Kyle Dake gets some revenge. He wins the decision to retain the Real American Freestyle title, cruiserweight title, defeating Magomed Kamayad Magmedov. This was a rematch. They are now 1-1. It sets up an epic trilogy fight. And when you have the Real American Freestyle already bleeding over to these Olympic rivalries, when you already have them having the savviness of bringing in a promotional mouthpiece like Colby Covington. We knew Colby was a wrestler. Through thick and thin, in his roots, he is a wrestler. So to think that Luke Rockhold was going to have the success, kind of laughable. Luke Rockhold, what he is a former UFC middleweight champion. What he is a recognizable name. What he is he's brought eyes no matter where he's went, to whether it's Karate Combat, whether it was over to BKFC when he took on Mike Perry. Luke Rockhold brought eyeballs. So you already had an antagonist and an instigator in Covington. You have a figure who has been a model in the past, who has notoriety in the combat sports world. It's very savvy marketing from Eric Bischoff and company with RAF, because in a way, I think a lot of people more thought the Dake versus Kadi Magmedov main event, that hardcore wrestling opportunity, that's what's going to be your main event. That's what's going to get the hardcores focused in. You're going to go to that avenue. Let's appeal to the wrestling fans when we're doing wrestling. But it appears that Eric Bischoff, a pro wrestling genius in the sense of how he is able to build up WCW, not just because he's a writer, but his ability to captivate stars. He saw the stars and the stars that we already have. That's why a Covington is in a main event. That's why a Rockhold is in a main event. You're able to very easily how a WCW would piggyback off the fame of the WWF. RAF is able to piggyback not off the traditional collegiate wrestling or Olympic fame that we thought they might be angling towards, but off of the UFC notoriety. Look no further than Armin Tsarukyan. It was a lightweight matchup. It is a tech fall, 10-0, absolutely steamrolls over Lance Palmer. Palmer in his time did win a couple PFL tournaments, a WSOF world title, but he never made it to that UFC level. And to think about the amazement that people had, Tsarukyan is a big lightweight who's been submitting many people throughout the world, showing his grappling prowess, and he is large for the weight class, not to mention he's in the prime of his career. Not surprised as some, but it does put a level of legitimacy to his wrestling when you do something like what he did to a guy that was D1 at a time. Yoel Romero misses weight. Weigh-ins were moved from the day before to the day of the event, taking on that real wrestling theme, because wrestlers weigh in the day of their events. That led to, we're canceling the fight. Nickel not happy doing it. Now that Romero missed weight, it was 7 pounds, people. 7-pound miss. Romero bumps up a weight class. Stephen Buchanan does show us that Yoel Romero is human. Well, freak of nature, timeless, ageless wonder that he is still human in this echelon, and that was an impressive victory. Jordan Oliver, he gets the victory one more time over Real Woods. This time had to come from behind to get it done. Impressive stuff out of the Real American Freestyle. So even though it was still another kind of UFC-less weekend, there was local boxing for us Albuquerque fans. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. Bailey's BKB Fight Night, the biggest grossing audience that promotion has had in that venue, and the biggest audience, I believe, that Biloxi Hard Rock has ever had in its own right for a combat sports event. And then the buzz for Real American Freestyle continues as they're making interesting moves here and there. You get in Tempe, Arizona, coming up on February 28th when it's RAF 06. You're going to see Henry Cejudo versus Uriah Faber. So here we go. WEC legend, UFC legend, two former world champions, and Henry Cejudo returning to his wrestling roots, putting on the singlet. There is really savvy marketing going on within Real American Freestyle. And I just feel like that has to be acknowledged. We had a huge weekend of combat sports last weekend. And as we're all excited for the UFC 1 week away from that, this weekend, we do have BKFC 86. We got several events to preview. But before we get too far away from the weekend, we are going to talk with Johnny Tapai JR in just a moment, everybody. This is my fight show. And really do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Take a quick break. We're going to get Johnny Tapai JR loaded up, and we're going to talk to him about the success that was his pro debut.
And I'm ecstatic. I'm ready. I'm ready for what's next.
So we talked about how you were going to handle everything prior to my fight show. Again, welcomes in all the way back in Las Vegas already. Johnny Tapai JR. Congratulations are in store. 1-0 as a pro boxer. How does that sound?
It honestly sounds amazing. You know, it took so long to get to this point, and I'm ecstatic. I'm ready. I'm ready for what's next.
So we talked about how you were going to handle everything prior to, but what was it like returning to Albuquerque? You've been away for some months in Las Vegas, and I gotta imagine there was almost like some fanfare and some return just from the family, some extra emotion seeing you guys back here.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, it's obviously it's our hometown. You know, it was nice being back home. It was nice getting some green chili in, and it was nice being back overall. Like I missed home for sure. I missed seeing my friends, my family, and then getting to see everyone there. It was such a great turnout.
Whose green chili were you racing to? Like, where did you have to go to get your fix?
Man, honestly, I just went to the store and I got the frozen hatch green chili, the hot, and we made some breakfast, we made dinner, we made lunch with it. Man, it was so nice.
People don't understand it unless you're from New Mexico, and all of us Albuquerqueans watching. Green
Oh
chili
yeah.
isn't just like a sauce, it's a condiment. It goes with everything.
Most definitely, most definitely.
You get back to Albuquerque. Was there like a point where it starts to hit you that it's fight week, that it's game time, or did it feel like that before leaving Vegas?
Um, Honestly, it did, and then once I got home, like I was like, all right, like spend these last few days just training light, you know, staying busy, staying warm, staying focused, and then as Wednesday hit, then it finally started like, okay, we're gonna weigh in. Am I at weight? Like, what's my weight at? And then Thursday passed. Um, Thursday night I couldn't sleep. I was energetic, you know, so I was trying to meditate. I was praying. I was talking to my dad, you know, listening to music, just trying to stay focused on what the plan was for ahead. And then Friday hit and it was like it was kind of a blur, but now I'm starting to kind of like remember things, and so it was crazy.
I want to know about your ring gear. Was this gear that you guys had already prepared? Was this gear that you already had and you expected to wear in April? Or was this new gear because the fight was finally finalized and you just freshly got to wear it?
So it was new gear, brand new gear. Both me and my brother, yeah, brand new gear.
Like, what did that mean to you guys looking at those uniforms and transitioning from the title uniforms that are kind of the dull colors that
Right.
everyone wears to now going to put a little your own flavor on it?
It felt amazing, honestly, because like I like the way that the material that I had picked, like I like the way that it shined in the lights. Like it just, we made it us, and we got to choose our colors, we got to choose our graphics and everything. And so I wanted to kind of like personalize, like obviously personalize it, but it just represented me. So it was amazing.
You get back here, we have the weigh-ins, and I don't know if you guys knew beforehand, it felt a little chaotic there at the moment.
Hmm.
Your mom's able to convey to our MC, hey, you guys are going to weigh in, and then we're going to field some questions from the media. Were you expecting that?
Honestly, no. I wasn't like whatever my mom says, honestly goes. Like she's just like, you guys are gonna do this, this, and this, and it'll either be last minute or it'll be like an hour before, but we're there to fight, until unless my mom says otherwise, then we're just there to fight.
You weigh in, and in that questioning, I asked Suede about the fight, and he's like, it's going to be a war. I gave you every opportunity to tell me how you were just going to go out there and annihilate this man that didn't deserve to be in there with you. You
Right.
took the high road. You were a lot more professional than that. And
Yes,
then the
sir.
performance, though, was replicate of what I expected your answer to be. What was your feeling when you were answering the question? And then we'll get into how the fight played out.
Just it's always better just to keep it respectful. Like if he was talking shit or whatever, like then it'd be a little different. But you always got to be respectful, and because you never know the outcome. I don't want to go talk crazy and then what if that was me? You know what I mean? So it's always best to just keep it level headed, respectful, and just we trained for this, so like the outcome was what it was.
What were the internal thoughts, though? Let's have a little peek behind the curtain. What were you really thinking?
I Man, honestly, I was in my head. I was like, man, I'm gonna tear this dude up because I watched his training. I watched his YouTube video, and he it didn't look like he had a trainer. So props to him for even stepping in there without a trainer. It didn't seem like he had any real game plan. So I just knew in my head, and even since before I even touched down in Albuquerque, that I had this dude, no problem.
It's one of the things that separates pros from amateurs and even boxers from MMA fighters. Those body shots in boxing, they're just something different when you're able to plant and put the power in and you rip the man's soul away. Was that a
Yes,
thought
sir.
process that you
Oh
had
yeah.
going in why you wanted to tap that body?
Of course, I seen the way he kept his elbows up when I was jabbing when the round first started, and when it happened, I jabbed so I could step closer, and I knew he thought I was going for the top, but he lifted his hands up, and it was perfect, straight left to his liver. It was perfect.
And I believe it's the second body shot that did him in. Like he was able to survive one, and then reality hit him on the second.
Honestly, I didn't really hit him hard on the first one. When he went down the first time, I did hit him. I hit him with an uppercut, and then I hit him with another right hook to the body, and it put him down. But I don't think that one phased him as much. But the second one, I definitely threw some power into that second one. That's why he went down.
You take the life out of the man. You get the stoppage in emphatic fashion. What is that moment like for you?
It was crazy. Honestly, it was so crazy. I didn't even know what had happened. Like it happened so fast because I was watching replays of it and I didn't even know he threw a right hook at me and I and I thought, you know what I mean? Like I'm like he missed obviously, but like it was just amazing because I seen the ref wave his hands and that was it. Like I was like, damn, like really? Like first round, like in and out, like that was the plan. So I'm blessed for sure.
Now that you've got to do it, you told me before your style would be more acclimated to the pros. I think we're going to tend to believe you now after that performance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, this is everything we've trained for, and like we've been training with pros since we were kids, pro trainers, pro fighters, pro sparring, everything. And now, like without headgear, it felt smooth. Like I felt fluid, like I could move and I could see everything. So it was nice.
Were you able to take in your brother's performance?
Yes, I was. That kid had me stressed out. Yeah.
What is it like, and what were you thinking as he's trying to take out a very awkward, very clinch-heavy thought process opponent? That one is as awkward and as wild as debuts get.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was honestly, it was kind of crazy. Big props to Ace. He was taking a lot of punches, and my brother does hit pretty damn hard. But it just Nico was trying to go for the knockout, I think, and instead of boxing this kid and keeping him at range, Nico's a big boy, and Nico's strong too, so he has that knockout power. But I think if he would have boxed him a little bit and he would have been a little more patient, it definitely would have came.
Not everyone makes their pro debut, the card with their name alongside their brother. How much of a benefit is it having him there with you morning, noon, night throughout all these processes, having him going through all of these steps with you?
Honestly, it benefits both of us mentally and physically because we both push each other. We both are there like I don't want to do it, he's pushing me like let's go, like this is our last stretch, like let's go, and vice versa, so when we're there and we're able to watch each other and we're able to push each other and we're able to just bounce each other's energy off each other, like we're ecstatic, like it's crazy because we both have to show out for not only Albuquerque or our family, but for each other too. And it just that bond, it makes it stronger. And so we go in there and we do what we need to do.
What was the biggest criticism? What did your corner tell you that we need to work on now moving forward?
Um, Honestly, keeping my hands up a lot more instead of like when I jab, I drop my hand instead of bringing it back to my face, and moving just a bit more. But other than that, like as far as what my coach said, like I did good. Like this is what we had trained for, and like whatever he says now when I go back to training, we'll start working on. But I also noticed that I need to throw a lot more too. There was a lot of things that I had seen where I could have thrown a lot more and I could have caught him a lot more if I had just stayed a bit more attentive.
When do you think is the next fight? What do you have in mind?
I believe we're shooting for February. We're trying to fight at least 6 to 7 times this year, and my mom is keeping us booked. But we're shooting for February, I believe, and then February, April, end of May, June, and I don't know the rest of the dates, but I know my mom is keeping us busy for sure.
Are we expecting that all to be back here locally in Albuquerque? You guys going to get in some work there in Las Vegas? Do you know that much of the plan yet, or has it not been revealed to you?
I know we're shooting for San Diego. There's a big one in Brazil that we cannot talk about just yet, but there's a big one out of country. And I think we're gonna go back and forth, Vegas, San Diego, and I think we may do one at the end of the year back in Albuquerque.
You ready for that? You ready for Brazil, for South America to take this from what was Canastas nightclub here in the local neighborhood all the way to that global stage?
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm more than ready. I mean, like Albuquerque as a whole, like I love everyone from Albuquerque because they're so ready and so eager to support us, and they're helping us just shoot up right on up. And so once we hit Brazil, and like I said, I can't name anything just yet, but that globally is going to be even bigger for us as well, and it's going to be cool to carry our hometown on our backs, and it's going to be amazing. Like it's only up from here.
Johnny Tapia Jr., again, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Of course, thank you, brother.
Don't know why I'm small all of a sudden. Yep, back to normal size. Johnny Tapia Jr. Again, appreciate his time. Back-to-back weeks. We went from the lead up to the victory to South America. Big things on top for Johnny Tapia Jr., Nico Tapia, the path that Teresa's guiding them down. Intrigued to see how it plays out this year. While we were conducting that interview, my phone went off. Looks like Dana White broke some news. If you guys didn't hear, UFC returning to Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena, March 28th. The main event has now been announced. It's the former middleweight champion of the world, the style bender, Israel Adesanya, taking on Joe Pyfer. Does Adesanya still have it? This is a mega opportunity for Be Like Joe Pyfer to make his jump into that next echelon of competitors. Huge breaking news with Alexa Grasso, the former women's flyweight champion, will be in the co-main event against Macy Barber. Dana Whitebomb, while we were on the broadcast, well, we're talking about breaking news. BKFC had some earlier today. They're going to be returning to the Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, they're home away from home. That is their continual home. They're going to be back there one more time, the third time, actually, the third time in a short amount of time. It's also going to be, get this, just get this, March 28th, that same night that we were talking about the UFC in Seattle. BKFC returns to Mohegan Sun, and this time it's a top 5 heavyweight main event encounter. He was just in the main event at Mohegan Sun. Parker Porter, the UFC vet who has now been taking BKFC by storm, is going to take on Josh Watson. Watson, he was the man that handed it absolutely to Greg Hardy at the Knucklemania event here in Albuquerque a couple years ago. That one also with some breaking news today. Couldn't believe that we're getting all that news, not to mention the PFL letting us know that their debut in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they've also locked down a main event. This one is essentially, let's just call it a middleweight tournament. We're away from tournaments, but we know that Castello Van Steens is going to have his first title defense against Fabian Edwards. Well, if we're talking title defenses, it's always on the tip of people's tongues. Where's the next title challenger coming from? And it looks like the PFL has a way to get to the bottom of that. We're going to have the PFL Pittsburgh event with a main event of Johnny Eblen, former Bellator, former PFL middleweight champion of the world, taking on UFC vet, Ultimate Fighter winner, who had just put in a couple victories in dirty boxing. Brian Battle for his PFL debut. And in the co-main event, you're going to be seeing the former light heavyweight tournament champion for the PFL, Ipa Kasanganay. Ipa Kasanganay going to be taking on, excuse me, everybody, just trying to get this audio to play the way I wanted it to. It's not going to work anyway, but it's going to be taking on Dalton Rosta. So you have both middleweights, outstanding prospects and wrestlers from American Top Team on this card as the PFL debuts in Pittsburgh. PFL, BKFC, UFC, all throwing out some wicked cool fight announcements and breaking news for us tonight. But we have a schedule that we're trying to keep here. So as we're looking ahead to the future, we're going to be getting to couple previews, a little bit of what's going on this weekend, but that's actually going to be after we hear from our next guest coming up. We're going to play our interview with Andreas Quintana. He had to get some practice, so we got with him a little bit earlier today. Fury 114, January 30th, one of about 6, maybe 7 different Borg MMA and fitness members on that card. We appreciate Andreas taking some time earlier to talk to us. So let's get to that right then. The Bullet, Andreas Quintana. I feel like we just did this recently.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking. How are you, Micah?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you on this platform for the first time. Many a times got to talk to you. First time here, and it's a big one. First time that I can think of that you're going to be fighting a UFC vet coming up under the Fury banner. That's some exciting news.
Yeah, I've fought people before they went into the UFC. I beat them before they went into the UFC, but yeah, this is the first time fighting someone coming off of the UFC for sure.
What was your reaction to getting a name like Austin Lindo in front of you? Someone that a couple of years ago, like we said, was in the UFC.
To be honest, I didn't really know who he was. I don't no disrespect to him or anything, but I just don't keep up with the UFC. Like, I actually never really kept up with the UFC, just big names. I'd watch big cards and stuff, but I just kind of like saw his record. I was like, oh yeah, decent guy. Probably pretty tough. Like all my fights are always tough. Saw his records, kind of went through his not his dog, his Tapology, and I was like, oh wow, he was in the UFC. But unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for him. I think he may have one win in the UFC. I'm not too sure. But I was like, yeah, I have like more than double the experience.
How do you deal with what recently happened? We thought we were going to see you back in the cage at CFC, and of all the opportunities, this one looked like it was going to happen. They were stretching themselves as far as they could to find an opponent for you, and then unfortunately it wasn't able to happen again during fight week.
I don't know. I kind of had that feeling in the back of my stomach, like, hey, this guy's not posting about the fight. This isn't sitting right with me. Like you get a big fight, fighting on the main card, pretty good show. You kind of post and brag about it. So I was telling my Coach Ray Borg, I was like, hey, Coach, I don't think this fight's gonna happen. He's like, no. I talked to the matchmaker. It's all good. And then eventually that Wednesday, yeah, it was cut. It was axed.
It was axed. And does it all feel the same? Does this one sting more? Are you numb to the process of fights falling out by now?
I've had so many fights fall out. I'm so used to the game. I know how the game goes. I just kind of saw all the red flags before it kind of even happened. I was kind of hopeful though that it would go through because they did try and get a backup fighter, but he did pretty much the same thing.
So not a huge surprise coming from your perspective.
No, there was a time that I was 10-1 with 10-fight win streak with 10 knockouts in a row, and I couldn't get a fight for a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
And now we're still in that same position. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Were you surprised, or once you look at a record of a guy like Austin, kind of you understood why he's willing to take this kind of challenge? He's probably looking at some names with some records that could help him get back to the big show as well.
Yeah, we're both, I think, in the point of our careers where we match up well. He's a little bit younger. He's been there. He's done that. And he's trying to get some big names under his belt, and I'm trying to do the same. So, yeah, it just makes sense, the matchup at this time and point.
You said you weren't familiar with him when you basically got the contract. Now, have you familiarized yourself with him a bit more?
No, not at all. Unfortunately not.
What I've seen from his game, he has some boxing skill in there. And he also, you look at the record, he has some decent submission skills. I don't think he's the guy, though, that totally hunts for a takedown. It's more like in scrambles. He's really good at catching guys. Does that seem like a formula that for you is somebody that you can put on an entertaining fight with?
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to put on the most entertaining fights like possible ever. That's why I have so many knockouts. That's why I go out there and I put it all on the line, even if I'm risking, I'm like winning 2 or 3 rounds, and I know I could coast to a decision victory, but I still want to get them out of there. And it seems like he's willing to stand and bang. Hopefully, we'll see when we get in there.
Does there ever infer any kind of like lingering effects? Like the last 4 fights have fallen out. Are you still able to put the same effort into the next camp where you're like, I might be heading towards the 5th fight in a row falling out?
I haven't felt that way for this fight at all. It was okay because when I first started trying to come back, I was kind of out of shape, trying to put it together at camp. I don't want to say I was half-assing it, but I was behind the curve for sure. Even though I had not as talented or skilled opponents before as I do Austin, it was kind of preparing me for this fight more than anything, I would say.
Do you still put yourself in the same mind frame as from the last fight, where you want to get into that second round, where you want to see if you still got it, or has the extra couple weeks taught you anything or reaffirmed any of those thoughts or trepidations to you?
Yeah, you know what? Like now, since Austin's a lot more dangerous fighter, I feel like if I can get him out of there, I will. Like I was saying, these other guys that I was supposed to be matched up with, I don't feel we're on my level. They're about 50-50 record. I could take a little bit more risk and a little bit more time and ease my way into there better, I guess. But yeah, with Austin, if I can see a submission, a knockout, or I see him hurt, I'm gonna try and attempt to finish it for sure, 100%.
As long as I've known you, yeah, you're an adrenaline junkie. You're a guy that loves the experience, the ATVs. We know what you're doing on the weekend. I feel like you need that fear in an opponent then, so we don't get an Andreas who's out here fucking around.
Kind of, yeah. I could see that myself too. Yeah. Um, I live for that danger. I live for that adrenaline. It's something I needed for a really long time since I was fairly young. Yeah, you're right.
Does it feel like there's been something then missing with having been searching for the fight, with not being able to get on in the cage, with having so many letdowns?
To an extent, yeah. I'm used to fighting fairly often, always preparing for something, always preparing for the next big show. Uh, I haven't fought, I want to say 3 years, so it's been a little void for sure. Um, I can't complain though. My life's been going great. Before back in the day, I had to fight. That was my main job. I do jobs, little odd and end jobs here and there, but now I'm good. I'm stable, and I'm doing this a lot more for fun and for me, just my warrior mindset, and me going out there and literally enjoying fighting. I don't have to win this fight to put food on the table anymore. And I think that's gonna make me a lot more dangerous fighter because I'm a fighter that's gonna be in there because I want to be in there and I want to do it for fun. And I think you're gonna see a little bit more dangerous me, willing to take more risks.
The change of life, the change of mentality, is that almost freeing to you that you don't have, I guess, so to say, all the eggs in this one basket?
I mean, yes and no, because lots of times I had like my back up against the wall. I would be like, if I don't win this fight, I don't know how I'm gonna pay these bills or, this or that. Um, that did also make me a dangerous fighter. But if I'm doing it just for fun, then there's there's something else, that you got to worry about.
Like what does that mean? Now that you're just doing this for fun, you're able to let it hang out more, or because there's the other obligations you have, you feel like you're more focused in? Like, which way are you going in that thought process?
I'm saying like people don't usually just fight for fun, It's they don't have any other route or revenue to make money or their hands are just tied. But I mean, if I'm doing it just for fun, that's like a little bit concerning, I guess you can say, to normal people, right? Not many people go out there wanting to fist fight, wanting to go in there and put themselves in danger. But me, I just think it's something I gotta do and I enjoy doing.
The enjoyment, like,
Hmm.
what has it been like being away from this? Like, have there been any extra thoughts that have put together on how being away from this activity, like you're in the gym, you're so close, you go to CFC anyway, and even though you can't compete, you're there cornering, your brother's there, the adrenaline spiking. Like, as the time goes on, do those feelings of longing to get back in there and the enjoyment that you got from it, does it change?
No, when I was there for CFC, I was like, dang, I wish I was fighting. A lot of people know I don't really like fighting main event, and I'm always asking for like, hey, put me on earlier, but I know it's a little difficult with my record and stuff. Just waiting all night for that, but I'm always if I'm there live, I'm wishing I'm fighting for sure.
Wait, you don't want to be the main event? Everybody's not hungering to wait backstage for hours while everyone else participates and see that adrenaline go up and down, seeing everyone else celebrating. Yeah, guys, you never think about those other aspects. There's a lot more that goes into being main event of boredom than you would ever expect.
It's horrible. It's a whole nother fight in itself, I guess. Um, I don't think I haven't fought main or co-main for a very, very long time.
And where are we positioned on this Fury card? A huge card for Borg MMA and fitness. I believe
Yeah,
I'm hearing somewhere between, I think I saw 5, and then I've been told it's up to possibly 7 of you guys in all at one event.
correct. 5 to 7. I think Josiah just got injured a couple weeks ago, so I think he's out of his fight, but everyone else should be on. It's a huge card.
Where are you positioned in the lineup?
I want to say a little bit earlier because I think they have a lot of the Dallas people. I don't actually know where my opponent's from. But yeah, I want to say I'm a little bit earlier, thankfully.
I actually think he is a Dallas guy too, so I'm surprised you
Oh,
guys
is he?
with the records. I maybe you guys are going to end up co-main event or somewhere on the main card. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I guess the first thing I had heard was I was co-main and I asked Ray, I was like, hey, is there any way you can get me like sooner in the card? So my hands are tied on this one. I was like, I don't think so. I think they want you co-main. I was like, all right, if I have to do co-main, that's fine. But then a week or two ago, he told me I may be earlier. So hopefully earlier. Still on UFC Fight Pass for sure, but hopefully earlier.
Still on UFC Fight Pass. And is this one in Dallas or is this one in Houston again?
This one's in Dallas.
This is in Dallas. Okay, I thought we were going back to Houston. I was about to ask you, is there any kind of residual memories coming back to you from the last trip there?
Not so much. I just don't like Houston really. I just don't really like the city. Even the first time I fought there, I just didn't enjoy it.
Were you 2 hours up the road? Is this going to be your first time visiting Dallas?
I want to say I fought in Dallas for Combate. I want to say, yeah, I fought there before.
So better impressions of Dallas than you had of Houston?
Yeah, I want to say I fought Comain in Dallas, and I fought Ray. I can't remember his last name. He had a lot of fights. He was like 25-25. I fought him co-main event, and I got one of my only submissions. Rear naked choke in the first round. Second round. It might have been second round.
There are several things besides fighting that are very near and dear to Andreas Quintana's heart. You wouldn't know it because he doesn't show a lot of emotion to us a lot of time, but I need to know how much, if at all, you are buying into the theory that the electromagnetic charging station hundreds of feet from the way have caused your 49ers to have more non-contact injuries than any other football team in the last 5 years. And let me know if you're not catching on to the conspiracy theory that I've been seeing online.
I have heard about that very, very recently, like within the last week. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much, but I mean, it would make sense, you know. For a long time, they were trying to blame their strength conditioning coaches, and they fired and hired completely new coaches. So there's got to be something going on.
Still alive in the playoffs, but you guys got to go to Seattle again. It was brutal last time you played the Hawks. Why does it go different this weekend?
It was a little tough. I think it was a lot closer game than people kind of remember or realize. Like a lot of things didn't go right for the Niners, but Brock threw a pick like right at the end zone. So that's a 7-point difference right there. I'm pretty sure they scored off of that. So I mean, it was only 10-13 game, real low scoring, and I kind of feel like it's gonna be the same. And they beat them the first game. So I don't see the big deal. They had Brock, but they didn't have Kittle. They might be getting a few players back. We'll see.
You didn't give me as much conviction on that prediction as you do when you're talking about your own fights. I was waiting for the bullet to come out like, nah, they're gonna run all over him. Purdy's the man. You had to convince us a little bit more there.
I do think they should be able to. It's possible for them when they just have so many injuries. I mean, like they're playing with 5th and 6th, maybe even 7th string linebackers. Like, come on, like they've done. If their season ended on that game, I'd be happy.
Tempering those expectations, I hear. No.
Yeah.
I already stuck my foot in my mouth a while ago. I said Bills 49ers Super Bowl just because I like the thought of you guys going to play the Super Bowl in your own stadium.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I thought that'd be cool if we got the 1 seed and then all the playoffs ran through San Francisco, but that didn't happen.
We have the whole team heading down to Dallas for the event, basically.
Yeah.
What does that do? A veteran like you changing the tempo, the feeling, the atmosphere of training camp when you've got so many dudes preparing for one date?
We've been here. We've done this before. There's a few new faces at boards, a little bit younger kids, but at least half of the people I'm training with right now, I've trained with for a long time. We got Corey. Jesse's not fighting, but we got him there. Josiah was supposed to fight. Like, I've trained with these guys for many, many years, so it's nothing new, nothing different. We've always done our best to help each other prepare for these events. So it's just kind of like jumping back on a bike. We've been there. We've done that.
CFC is awesome. All respect to them. Fury is a different level promotion. It's UFC Fight Pass. Do you think that this then there's bigger outcomes? This could lead to much bigger things. Like, what do you feel could be on the horizon if you put on the performance that you want to with this fight?
To be honest, they're going to give me, if I'm able to win this fight, I don't see why I shouldn't be able to. They're going to give me one of their top guys. If I can beat him, I'm more than likely probably going to be looking at a title. I haven't talked too much to Eric, but I would assume that's the plan. They gave me a 4-fight deal, so I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Andreas the Bullet Quintana, first time on the show. It was great to have you. We'll definitely have you back again. Thanks for joining my fight show tonight.
Of course. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
And I am back. Earlier today, we had to make a little bit of adjustments to get the bullet on. Fury FC 114, January 30th, Dallas, Texas. Borg MMA and Fitness going to be representing in full effect going down to Texas. Not breaking news, but news you guys should know because I don't think we've had anywhere to announce it yet. One of our top regional prospects, Hondo Alejandro Gutierrez, is returning to CFFC. It's February 6th. It's CFFC 150, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The fabulous 2300 arena where ECW used to reign. He's going to be facing Damian Anderson. Killer early knockout last time out for Mr. Gutierrez. We had him on the show to talk about it. Probably going to get him on again here shortly in the future. Big things from one of the brightest bantamweight prospects throughout the Southwest and definitely here in New Mexico. Diego Brandao, the current Tough Enough featherweight MMA champion, will in the next couple months, I believe at the very next Karate Combat, be making, obviously, his Karate Combat debut. Be on the lookout for more details about how DB will be now entering a different battleground. A world championship class has been announced for March 22nd here in the 505. Isleta Resort and Casino, I believe, is the place. We have the return. Once again, we'll let you guys know if that changes, actually, because I'm not seeing it here, but we will have the return of APFC. APFC 22 has been announced, and the gentleman, Jalen Fuller, will be defending his APFC welterweight title against Christian Turner, who's won 7 straight, including 5 by finish. Breaking news, we combined for 19 wins, 15 finishes, 7 straight wins between the two men. It all goes down here in Albuquerque, March 22nd. APFC 22. Won't be surprised if Barber Gabe, yes, from Barber Gabe's Fades, where you go over to book a haircut at barbergabesfades.net. Yes, the very same, will also be back in action on that card. More breaking news from today throughout the combat sports world. Braxton Smith, former peak heavyweight champion. We were supposed to see him take on Cody East here in Albuquerque. Remember, he got the call up to the UFC, ended up having a positive PED test removed from the UFC. He made his successful debut in BKFC and then fell out from his next scheduled fight with them. He is now signed with BKB. The reshuffling between two of the biggest bare knuckle organizations in the world continues. We have an injury and an adjustment to January 31st, BKB 50. Harold McQueen steps in to replace Brandon Breer and will now be facing Alberto Blas for that inaugural super featherweight title at BKB 50. You watch BKB 50, Vice TV. Vice TV, that's where you see a lot of great action because they're making moves, making waves. We had recently talked about PFL Africa and PFL MENA being added to BKB and United Fight League already there on Vice Sports. Well, adding to that conglomerate is the LFA, Legacy Fighting Alliance, that started out on Access TV, that had been a staple as one of the biggest promotions. We had seen them here locally many a times. I'd covered them Las Vegas, Colorado, New Mexico. They were a staple and probably the most watched independent promotion on UFC Fight Pass. Now returns to a traditional TV deal with Vice Sports. And we're talking about 3 days from now, January 16th, LFA 224, the very same event that's taking place at Lake Pryor, Minnesota. Yeah, that one, you watch it on Vice Sports. No more UFC Fight Pass for LFA, who had been the leading feeder to the worldwide leader in mixed martial arts. As far as what you're getting this weekend, Matt the Hammer Adams, who for Albuquerque local fans, Juan Adams beat him at the BKFC Prospect Series back at the beginning of 2024 at the Revel Entertainment Center. Well, since then, he's ripped off 3 wins in a row, all in the LFA, coming off of a first-round knockout, and he is going to be taking on, in a small world, the Jackson Wink-managed Arslan Bibilov, who is coming off of an 18-second knockout in his debut, and his last 2 wins are back-to-back triangle chokes. A new heavyweight champion to be crowned in the LFA this Friday night on Vice TV. Undefeated Josiah Harrell, 10-0, 5 wins by knockout. He is taking on Bekmira Dasmatov from Kazakhstan, who is on an 8-fight win streak in the co-main event. Regional MMA on fire. UFC Fight Pass, I would now say it's between CFFC and in Fury for which one is truly now the leader of the pack in that promotion. And I think he's ready for our interview. Iyean Varela is going to be in action same night as Andreas Quintana, his teammate. He's going to be heading to Dallas, and he will be on that Fury card. He's a little bit wacky, a little bit zany, and I truly don't know if what I'm about to do is correct by taking this man live. We are doubling up the fun this week with interviews from guys representing Borg MMA and Fitness, guys that are heading down to Dallas, Texas for Fury FC 114 on January 14th. I don't know if this is safe. People said you can't go, or excuse me, I said Fury 114 and it's January 30th. I saw the look. My bad on that one. I'm just that scared of what we're about to do. I'm actually letting Iyean Varela go live, and many have said I shouldn't let this happen. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. What about you, Mika?
How you feeling today? I'm all right. I need to know how you're feeling. We always wonder what kind of mood is Iyean on when he's coming on the show.
Feeling pretty good. Cut a lot of bad people out of my life. Now it's time to beat someone up.
So what was the keys to, I guess, That magical moment, getting those hedge clippers, going through those weeds of negativity and clearing them out.
There's a lot of bad people. Basically, it's just me and this bitch right here. I don't know if I showed you her. Fuck. But
No, I didn't know you had a dog. I literally did not know that.
yeah, just me and her. And cut everybody out of my life. Family, friends. Not all my family. I'm not that much dick, but a lot of family, friends. Haven't talked to them for a while. Just want to win.
With those changes being made, it kind of jumps me into the people you didn't cut out of your life. Borg MMA and fitness, and the gym is growing. We were just joking before we actually started recording about Andres Quintana, who's a bigger part of the gym, who I know has been somebody that's been a profound influence and inspiration to you for a while. What has it been about that community that it is the right place for you to be? And forget all the wrong places. Why is that one the right?
All the boys are back, basically. Me, Nico, Andres, Javi. We're all training back together. It's like a little reunion, basically, when we all get back to practice. It's nice. It's nice to have all of us back. It's like becoming a big family, basically.
Let's not bring up Nico. He disappointed me. I got like 12 stray cats outside my house, and I thought one called to him and he would adopt all of them. He only took like half, so we're not going to bring him up here.
Sounds good.
No, all love to Nico. What is it about Ray Borg and learning under him that has been the right kind of mesh up for you? Because I know as an educator yourself, there's got to be the appropriate style. Not everybody learns the same way.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm stupid, retarded, crazy, don't care what they think. But also, you look at a lot of these coaches around, they ain't smart. They ain't thinking as hard as Ray is. Honestly, Ray's busy as fuck. Like, he not only trains a fuck ton of dogs, I think he has like fucking 30,000 dogs at his fucking house. Plus us, like, the dude does his homework. He knows what fights we should take, what fights we shouldn't take. I'm trusting that man with everything come to fighting. He's going to tell me what to do that night. At the end of the day, it's what my retarded ass is going to do that night. But I always tell myself I'm going to listen to him like he's the controller and I'm the video game. I just have trust in that man.
Bringing up Ray Borg, January 24th, 6 days before Iyean and 7 guys, I believe, 7 guys from the team go to war. We're going to have exactly 6, 7. Haha, I made the joke finally. Ray Borg and Mia Schmidt will be live in studio here in the Cage Mind Studios with me and Robbie Gutierrez for our UFC 324 watch along on the main card. And we're going to make Ray dish all the dirt about all these hooligans that he trains to be warriors. You're going into this fight. It's a return to fury. Do you come back with like extra motivation? Because I know this is a place that you want to conquer.
Extra. Yeah, I got a lot of revenge on me because the last one time I went out was ripped away from me, basically. And then I had 2 fucking pullouts. So I've been training my ass off. I've been in camp after camp after camp. I've been in camp since I was in camp for Jacobo, and I haven't stopped. So that should tell you right there how crazy I'm wanting to win.
You last fought in July. You were booked to fight in October from the CFFC card. Opponent cancellation, I'm guessing?
Yeah, you missed one too. I was supposed to fight in Austin. Forgot the date, but flew out to Austin. Opponent didn't show up. Talk shit to me online, which they usually do. Didn't show up. Thought I was easy. Didn't show up. So easy I didn't. I don't know. And then CFC guy, a bunch of Savages guys. Savage can't even coach for shit. So how's he gonna send someone out to beat me up? I'll fight Savage. Fuck. Tell Savage I'll fight him.
So we'll say there's been more than a few hurdles and a couple times that you thought that you would have a fight before this upcoming one.
Yeah, I've been trying to fight since Jacobo got his little cheated victory.
Is that something that's gonna stick in your craw? I mean, he's vacated that belt. He's moved on to Fury. Is that something you're still someone that you're still angling towards? Like, we could sell tickets. We have history.
Yeah, we have history. I could be pretty prideful and go win that CFC belt that Carlos has offered me a couple times. I choose not to. My goal is just to keep moving forward. Ray tells us all the time, once the fight's over, we should just dust it off onto the next. And yeah, I hate him, but he's a good guy. Jacobo, I have nothing against him. He beat me. If the ref says he won, I guess he won. But I'll eventually get all these guys back. That's my goal. The Mika, the Jacobo, the Sebastian. It's nice because this guy beat Micah. So when I beat this guy, it's gonna be maybe a Micah rematch.
So are you letting them go, or are you still carrying like a bag with some sand or ashes left from these little keepsakes that you're still hanging on to some of the tissue from these matches?
Brother, I've gone to a lot of stuff that I should probably let go, and this is probably something I'll never let go. I try to let it go, but it's gonna stick inside my heart forever.
You fought for that CFC title. I'm forgetting if it was the inaugural one with Jacobo. Does it feel like then it would just be a bronze medal or a silver medal to fight for it after he vacated it?
I never wanted it in the first place. Didn't care about the belt. Don't care about the belt. Don't care about the UFC belt. Don't care about belts in general. All I care about is beating people up. I got into this just to hurt people. Like, I don't care about belts, money. I lose money going into fights sometimes. I go work a fucking job all day just to pay so I can beat someone up. Because if I go do that in the streets, what the fuck's gonna happen? I'm gonna be the fucking on the news, brother. I can't be on the news. I'm fucking trying to be the nicest person in the world right now to these little children.
We had a kinder, gentler Iyean Varela. I feel like a little more focused in the last interview. Has there been almost a switching gears, a shifting of the gears to get back into the mentality that you just want to beat people up? Not taking away your malice intent, but I feel like it wasn't this aggressive last time, that there was a little more focus in on just the athletic competition or growing yourself. It seems like there's just a different approach now.
I just don't care about anything right now. I care about winning, and that's it. Like, you mentioned caring about myself. I don't even care about myself. Like, let's just get to the fight. I keep telling people I'm gonna be a fucking mess January 31st or the 9th or whatever that night is. I'm gonna be leaving it all out there. So I don't even prepare to like hang out with anybody after. Right? That's why I've just literally gone a little crazy. A lot of people have told me, but I think you need to be crazy in this sport, Micah.
How do you hone that in then on the 30th? And do you feel there would be an advantage to not honing it in, to being chaotic and crazy?
Yeah. You saw me be a little too chaotic, I'd say, when I went against the Kobo. I was whipping his ass and then got a little crazy and just I saw an opening. I thought I was gonna win. I thought I was gonna make the night easy and take him out. Left my hands down. That's been a bad habit when I get a little crazy and I just see basically I'm retarded. I see red and I just want to fucking start swinging for the fences. Can't do that this time. I've basically pulled back a lot. I need to be more patient. I can't be just going kill mode 24/7 or one, I'm going to get tired. Well, no, I don't actually get tired anymore. I just keep going and going and going. I quit smoking for fucking like 10 weeks now. Haven't smoked weed. I haven't done anything. Maybe just some ibuprofen off the counter. That's it.
Feels like you're focusing in, you're honing in. So with all this focus and honing in, does that mean the craziness will explode on fight night?
Oh, sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to explode. I mean, I've been holding it in for so long now. I got that stripped away from me in July. And then I thought I was going to explode in Austin. I thought I was going to explode in El Paso. And now I finally get to explode. And I'm pretty sure even if it's Jesus Lopez that pulls out, I think I trust in Eric that he's gonna have someone there for me, and I don't even care who it is.
Have you had the time somewhat from being away from the sport because you want to be so active? Because ever since I've known you, you've had this activity, you've been keeping up. Was there any benefit to being away and maybe learning an identity of who you are in that cage rather than just constantly pushing and pushing and pushing?
No, there's been no way. I've been to the gym all ever since. I don't skip practice. Um, I go to practice on Saturday and Sunday. Every moment I can, I'm at the gym. Like, there's nothing else that I want to do in life except go to practice. I don't care about food. I don't care about I literally changed my whole life for this time around. I cook my own food, which is new. I never cook. I go to sleep at a certain time. I turn my phone off at certain times. I don't even call like anybody. I don't talk to nobody. I haven't spoken to my friends. I moved out of where I was at by myself. I'm literally in by myself. I literally had to do this move just for me.
I'm really hoping all of this is the benefit and pays off in the direction that you believe it will. Why do you have the confidence that it will?
Because I just know, like, there's been nights in that gym that I'm crying. I've cried to my mom. I literally cried to my mom last week. Javi, Andres, it's nice to have him back because it puts me in my place. They beat the shit out of me. Like, no one is gonna do that to me out there. That Jesus Lopez, he does jujitsu. Like, brother, I've been doing jujitsu since I was like 2 years old. Like, I don't really need to worry about this fight. I'm on to the next. I'm already thinking about the next one. Yeah, I don't like to do that, but I'm already thinking about the next one.
You look at Chewy's record, he has a victory over the first guy that defeated you as a professional in Micah White. Does that give you any kind of respect or insight then into what you think of Chewy's game because you've seen the competition he's been successful against?
Uh I sadly don't respect much people, Micah. If you can whip my ass, then I'll shake your hand. I still won't respect you. Nothing about that fight respects me. I respect him because he's stepping in there. That's it. I respect people that step in there and can back it up. If he can back it up and whip my ass, I'll shake his hand. Still hate him. I think watching him against Micah, I obviously fought Micah after that fight. I think me breaking my nose and my both orbitals in round one screwed me up in that fight. I was breathing out of my mouth. I couldn't really breathe. I was fighting 3 rounds with bucking out of my mouth. I I would like to run that back, but I'm not gonna just chase after all these redemption fights at this point. It's ridiculous. I'll get those guys if they meet me up in the big leagues.
Did that fight at least answer any questions to you when you're able to fight through that adversary, go through those kind of injuries, keep chugging?
Yeah, it was big for me that night. I know when it broke, I was swallowing a lot of blood, and in that moment, even Ray says like we got to go back to that moment here and there because it should show you who you really are in that moment. I I previously have given up in the past in fights. I'd say when I fought Jacobo the first time and when I broke my jaw, I gave up. I can't like admit that I'm like the toughest person in the world. I try to be, but I'm admitting it firsthand right here. I've given up in fights and I've given up in practice, but this time around, Chewy can have my leg and snap it in half. I won't give a fuck. I'm still gonna fight.
How does that change progress from those 2 points to get from where you were to where you are now with that mentality of how far you're willing to go for the success?
I just say Ray. Ray's been chirping at me since I've been with him. A lot of it has been body language, that he yells at us, because that's mainly the big thing. Body language. Yeah, you might be hurt. You might be wanting to cry, but cry afterwards. Fuck it. When you're in the truck by yourself, call your mom. I don't really care. But in that gym, no. You got to just get up and go. Like, everyone's going to see you're a little tired or hurting. Or if I say, oh, my eye hurts, what do you think they're going to go after, Micah? They're literally going to just go after that. Or my leg hurts. It's stupid to say, like, anything's hurt because they're just going to go after you. So there's no reason to just, it's just man up, basically. Just keep going.
Any vulnerability will be taken advantage of that's shown in the cage. And I'm sure you, as a predator, are even looking for those kind of things.
Yeah, especially now that I learned to be a lot more patient. Like, I'm not just going out there like a psychomaniac anymore. I'm literally just looking to win. I may stall for 14 minutes and just literally take you out at the last minute. That's something some people don't like, but I'll literally hold you down for 14 minutes and then choke you out the last minute, right before the 15-minute mark. I'm here to make it boring. I don't care if it's boring. I'm a wrestler. I got to start using that. I can't be getting in all these crazy brawls for no stupid reason. I need to use my skills that I've taken from all these years and implement them. I don't care if it's boring. I'll make it exciting once I get that mic.
Right. The first time I met you, you thought so highly of your grappling skills. You're jumping in the ring with Joby Sanchez. And this is after Joby had been in the UFC, guys.
Yeah, my grappling's great. My grappling's like, I wouldn't say D1 level, but I can hold my ground against like top level anybody. Like, I'm strong enough, I'm stupid enough, I'm crazy enough to just stick around with anybody. And I got to start using that. I can't be dumb and just go rely on my grappling, because then I'll start looking a little desperate and start getting tagged up. But over these last couple of years, especially this time, maybe I used it as just a sign of God, like from God, like him taking away those last two fights, me flying all the way out there, making weight twice when there was no opponent for no reason. They just didn't show up. I took that for a reasoning, because I needed to fix some things. I needed to start just becoming a full all-around martial artist. Can't just be going in there to strike. Can't be going in there just to grapple. I got to mix it all together. And I think I'm just going to mix it all together that night.
He said he's going to mix it all together. He's going to use his wrestling weight. He's coming for the knockout. He's going to be crazy weight. We've spent the time honing his ability to be more composed. I absolutely love the facts that you would need a translator to truly understand all the different kind of almost mirages, the different traps that Iyean Varela sets every time I do an interview with him, because I think you try to be everything in every way, and very surprising in that same way.
Got to be everything, Micah. If you ain't everything, what are you? Nothing.
That is a great way to leave us off. If you're not everything, you're nothing. And this man's looking to become everything. Iyean Varela, first time having you on my fight show. Thank you for the time tonight. Have fun at practice.
No, I won't. I hate practice.
Iyean Varela, if nothing else, always entertaining. I don't know if it's always the best kind of entertaining, but hopefully it's keeping you guys interested, entertained, and excited. UFC Fight Pass, Fury FC 114, January 30th. The crew from Borg MMA and Fitness will be in action in full effect. 6 members of the team in action and all. And Ray Borg, his fiance Mia Schmidt, they're going to be joining us January 24th, 6 days before that event, here live in studio, Cage Minds Live, UFC 324 watch along. Myself, along with Robbie Ray Gutierrez, Robbie Ray Images, Robbie Ray Media, will be here. We'll all be in full effect. That reminds me, your next event, you need headshots done, you need a promo made. Robbie Ray Media can help you out. Robbie Ray Images has the photos, full commercials, because we are ready, willing, and able to promote your business right here on this platform, cageminds.com, all over the place. We can take care of playing the commercials, building the commercials for you. We got a whole lot cooking, including this weekend. I believe there's going to be a major announcement. Mike Adams 2.0, Saturday mornings, ESPN Radio, Albuquerque. That's 1017. The Team. Catch all the episodes, Apple Podcast, Spotify. As Mike said, the guest list has been amazing. I had part 1 this week with our trio of friends from TNA, Ross Forman, Nic Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler from his WWE days, and Mara Sade. That follow-up, part number 2, we're just a few minutes away from that interview. But before we start playing away with that interview, want to remind you guys that we do have a ticket giveaway going on for TNA Impact Wrestling, debuting here, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been a fan of their promotion for 15 years. They've been to Las Cruces. They've been to El Paso. January 22nd, they go live on AMC. They debut here in the Duke City. We got tickets. Like the episode, share the episode, comment in the episode that you shared it. Comment anything about TNA Wrestling and enter to win. Next week, we will give away those tickets. Also, you want tickets tonight? Answer the trivia question. Who's the first TNA heavyweight champion of the world? And who is the current TNA heavyweight champion? That could change Thursday night. TNA debuts their first live airing on AMC, their new broadcast home. 2 men will be dueling for the belt. The one that has it now, you need to give me his name, along with the first ever TNA Impact heavyweight champion to win this first set of tickets. Second set of tickets next week. We're going to do a drawing. Like, share, and subscribe. You like pro wrestling? Don't miss out. Even after TNA leaves, we got back-to-back nights, January 22nd and 23rd of tapings here for Impact Wrestling. The thrill of tradition. The thrill of tradition. Let me get that out so you guys can clearly hear it. From our friends at Duke City Championship Wrestling, that's NWA New Mexico, welcoming in Silas Mason, the NWA heavyweight champion, the Southern Gentlemen, the NWA tag team champions. They're going to be here February 7th, El Rey Theater. I know you've seen it on the bottom line. HoldMyTickets.com to get tickets. Just in case you wanted tickets for Friday night for TNA, we don't have those to give away, but you can get those at TNAWrestling.com. So before we get too much further into the pro wrestling talk, there is bare knuckle this weekend that we must talk about. I talked to him last week. Dustin Paig, the UFC vet, the Ultimate Fighter vet, looks to be the third member of that enormous season to join John Dodson and Johnny Betford as a BKFC champion. That one is our first major BKFC event of the year, BKFC 86, back-to-back events. And I just told you earlier that they were going back to this venue, Mohegan Sun. BKFC has fully taken over the Bellator residency at the Eunice-ville, Connecticut arena, and they are taking full advantage of it. Welterweight title fight, first title defense for Julian. Yes, the Ultimate Fighter fame. Let me bang Lane. 8-fight win streak. This man has totally turned around and redefined his BKFC career. He is going to be defending, like we said, our guest from last week, Dustin Paig. Paig, a top 5 contender, back-to-back impressive main event victories to solidify himself as this number 1 contender. Your co-main event for you pure boxing fans, Jamel Herring, former world champion, making his BKFC debut. He said he doesn't want to box anymore. He said that boxing is therapeutic and combat sports therapeutic for his PTSD, that he needs to get back to competition. He's taking the gloves off, competing in BKFC, and he makes his debut against a veteran, a very tough Matt Guyman, a compelling crossover bout that will surely put Herrig in place for an absolutely massive fight should he get his feet wet and like the temperature of the water in this one. Rico DeSulo, who's been doing some big things with a short run in the BKFC, he's on this card. Look at Ramiro Figueroa, who is doing things at lightweight, now moving up to welterweight. Ross Hilton, who we've seen in BKB, a couple other places, had a couple regional MMA titles. It's a heavyweight bout with Branko Brunswick. Sure, that one is just going to be action personified. Get a little deeper into the main event. Let Me Bang Lang. In the promotion, he is riding a 5-fight win streak. You think about that, includes defeating the former boxing world champion, Alfredo Angulo. I thought that there was a possibility Lane was just going to be a punching bag or get knocked out by a big Angulo shot, depending on how that one worked out. And Angulo was totally rendered helpless. Tough pressure, huge in the clinch, and his toughness cannot be second guessed. Also, the defense and his elusiveness have also increased with how his experience and the tricks of the trade have accumulated for Julian Lang. Number 5 ranked Peg, back-to-back stoppage wins. He's dangerous if he can land heavy. He probably needs to land early. The experience. About 18th bare knuckle appearance is coming on Saturday night for Julian Lane. It's hard for Peg, who has had success in the sport, but only 5 fights, to really match that level of toughness, of grit, of been there and done that Lane is able to present. When you're looking at the odds, early listings, Lane is, of course, the favorite. Peg, an underdog in most markets. You think that Lane's going to win the fight outright if you're just looking at how the betting lines are going. He probably has a clearer path for a late stoppage or a clear decision victory and upset. It's, can Peg land something significant and early? At a point, we saw Peg fighting at 135 pounds in his MMA career. The more natural, bigger man in here at the 165 pounds is going to be Lane, but it's not saying that Peg hasn't put on the size in the appropriate ways. It's just, it feels like the longer they go, and if you're able to let someone that's used to this kind of violence absorb a few and get used to what you're offering, it's probably going to be a bad night for Peg. He has to hurt, stun, and finish Lane early so Lane doesn't catch his groove and go on a tear. It feels like early or late. If it's early, we might have a change of the title. The co-main event, former WBO and IBF junior lightweight champion. This is one of the most heralded boxers to cross over to bare knuckle. We know the success that Austin Trout has had and the level of success that he's had in this company. The former welterweight champion who is waiting to fight for the BKFC lightweight crown. Can we see similar success and replication from Herrig, the veteran boxer? He has elite boxing pedigree, but this is still going to be a foray into a new sport. And there's just something different about the small surface area, getting cracked with the bare knuckle for the first time. Small but credible record and experience that matters is what Matt Guyman brings in as he looks to pull off an upset. Even though he is the BKFC vet, and we've seen BKFC vets be able to pull off an upset against boxers before because bare knuckle is a whole new game. This is an elite level boxer. His credentials give him a technical edge on paper. Bare knuckle pacing is different. How does he adapt to it? I don't think we get an early finish. I think that Herrig has to adjust, and we'll see how he feels after taking the first shot. The first shot could change all opinions of the fight. Does Guyman's familiarity with the rule set, with being able to clinch, with the 2-minute rounds where you can't waste any time, utilize range, use the jab, control distance. It's a pretty simple game plan, and it's what we outline for most boxers when they go into BKFC. If Guyman can put the pressure on, if he can land hard on the inside, if he can steal some rounds, if he can make the fight dirty, he makes the fight interesting. A title is on the line in the welterweight division. Jamel Herrig, former world champion, crossing over to boxing. My anticipation is a high level. BKFC 86, DAZN, Saturday night. This is a perfect appetizer to the UFC. We hit the premium live events on Paramount January 24th with UFC 324. UFC 325 hits on January 31st. And February 7th, you can be there live here in town again to support pro wrestling. Pro wrestling fans all welcomed here. It's the thrill of tradition. But if you're a BKFC fan, it's Knuckle Mania. And I'm reaching out to a couple fighters. We will be going live stream, Cage Minds Live for Knuckle Mania. You have to wait to see who the guest is. We're efforting a couple people. Can't wait to see what's going on with that. As far as we're going, we like to keep it local. We like to keep it national. Shouting out with more breaking news. If you guys hadn't heard, this is on the local tip. Nowhere to Run was a kickboxing series, a Muay Thai series. Great here to promote the amateurs to that next level. Well, they are expanding to the next level. And so is Nowhere to Run. Nowhere to Run MMA, thanks to Nick Gonzalez in association with Holmes Boxing and Sanchez Promotions. In March, I'm being told, we're going to get the first Nowhere to Run Pro-Am MMA event. More details at cageminds.com as they become available. A whole lot going on everywhere. Pro wrestling, MMA, so much stuff I'm excited about. Like literally, I can't believe I've contained myself to this point. Our main event interview, I know a bunch of you have been waiting. Here it is, part 2 from Saturday. Thank you again, Ross Forman, Nic Nemeth, Mara Sade. I'm going to have to clip that. Mara Sade and Robbie Ray Media for everything he did to help put this together. My Fight Show with Micah Frankel now welcomes in a trio of superstars from TNA Impact Wrestling. We have a follow-up from what you heard on Mike Adams 2.0. I don't know how I talked them in to doing extra media. Shout out to Robbie Ray Media on the video so you guys are able to watch it right here on My Fight Show. TNA Impact Wrestling. The company is growing leaps and bounds. We'll turn the mic right over to Ross Forman because I believe that you will be the elder statesman of having been with this company.
That would be true. Probably the whole company, not just in this room. Yeah, no. Excited to come to Albuquerque, January 22nd, 23rd, Tingley Coliseum. All the stars will be there. Hardy's, Nic Nemeth.
Mara Sade.
Mara Sade, yes. You need to get some gold, by the way.
I do, Ross. What can you do for me?
Let's talk about that.
All right.
Let's talk. Are we talking about jewelry or are we already like working a title match right here on the show?
I mean, look at that. She's ready to get up.
I mean, we got silver, but I need gold now.
Yes.
I need gold.
So I was going to ask Ross questions, but he throws it to Mara, and then we're like, you're accessorizing, you're branding. How important is that for Mara Sade to stick out and to have the brand? Because the coolest lollipop holder I've ever seen.
I appreciate you. I have like 10 different colors to match the outfits. You know what I'm saying? Branding's huge, especially in this business. The more you can stand out, the better. And I feel like I do a great job at that.
Okay, so we're going to get controversial right away. Is there a favorite flavor?
Is there? Yes, actually, if you peeped, I always got a red one, so cherry is my favorite. So for any fans who want to surprise me.
Okay, we might start something. I don't know if you're a big comedy fan. We know Nick is, so he'll probably already recognize this, but Gabriel Iglesias once said, I love chocolate cake. Oh. And he's had to actually tell people, okay, never mind. Stop please giving it to me because there's just piles of it at shows. So we might end up like a dumb overload for you.
Listen, I already do. I have a closet full of lollipops. Like, I'm good for life. I kid you not. I kid you not.
So this is the long found addiction.
Yeah. And it's crazy though. People think I have a problem, but I mean, I have abs. I have nothing to worry about.
You can quit anytime you want.
I could, but I don't need to.
Just a little bit of a sweet tooth.
A little bit. And I love chocolate cake. I love chocolate cake. I have 2 slices waiting for me at home.
You touch down in the Duke City. Are you running for chili?
Running for chili?
Like to get some?
Oh, we already did that. Yeah, we checked that off the list yesterday.
Yeah, like how important is that for you when you knew you're coming home, getting off the plane here?
Super important. In fact, I took them to Los Cuates, or Ross took us to Los Cuates.
Yes.
And definitely had some green chili enchiladas.
Ross, you've obviously been on the road. You've been here. You've been there. How important is it finding a good restaurant in your guys' industry as you're on the road so much?
I'm going to just defer this one to Nick over here. I think he'll answer this one better than I will.
It is nice to find a nice local place that's something that you've never had before, and we always try and do it once in a while. But someone between the three of us has 100 million Outback points, and it's not me.
And not me.
Outback points? I did not know this was such a thing, but I know they have good steak.
It's like
So it
way
kinda-
more Marlboro miles than I have.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to WCW with I was doing some stuff and in the office and creative. We would go the first night we would go sushi, and then the second night some of the guys left. Kevin Nash and I would go to Outback every it was basically Tuesday or Thursday night every night. Like every week we did it. I'm like, well, okay, I know what I'm getting there, so
Well, not just the foodie here,
How
but
many points do you have?
I don't not many.
I don't want he doesn't want the government to know, but it's in the hundreds of thousands.
It's not.
I thought you were a comedian. When are you applying for this FBI agent role again? You're like going to grill him here. How many points, man?
He
must
won't
know.
tell me. I've been to 37 dinners with him, all at Outback, and he hasn't told me how many points. He's racking them up.
But for the record, we didn't go to Outback last night.
We didn't. It was a last second decision, and I said if you see an Outback on the way back, we can go. But we grabbed some Italian food last night. Would you rank the food last night out of 10?
I think I gave it an 8.5.
8.5.
I thought it was good. Very good.
What did you think of Los Cuates?
Oh, that was great.
Okay.
Sopapillas. I mean, even
yes.
we only had a little piece of them, but they were good.
That was much better than the dinner that we had. I had a taco salad with ground beef and avocado and 2 different salsas, and it was fantastic.
And some beans in there.
Oh yeah, and I
He stole Ross's
stole
beans.
Ross's refried beans.
No surprise, the local girl knew where to find the good food at.
Yes.
I'm also though impressed not just with his Outback point accumulating skills, with his negotiation ability, because Ross was actually able to get you guys to sit next to each other without any super kicks flying back and forth.
You know, we're out here for business, so you gotta put certain things behind you. But I guarantee you, next venue, just Nick knows the deal.
So you can be honest,
Been
Mara.
around a while. I know that. Keep my hands up at all times.
Is Nick trying to talk better of his brother for you, trying to wiggle his way in? Is he trying to defend any of his kind of way of appealing to you that's not so working? I think he's going
From
too
the looks
fast,
of
you
it,
said.
I don't think so. Like I feel like he knows his brother. You know what I'm saying? We know who we're dealing with here. I'm just putting him in his place. I don't know what it's like back home.
So to be fair, full disclosure, the two of us have kicked each other also.
We have. So we're kind
And
of even.
now we're 1-1, and since we're professionals and we're doing this media day because we want to get the word out,
Right.
we are keeping it. We want everyone. If there's some action between the two of us, it's going to be with people in the seats.
Yes.
So that 15th or 22nd here, you never know, the 23rd it could be. So as professionals, she's already learning. She's much younger than me, and she already knows that's where the money is. When you get all the people watching, then you make some stuff happen.
That's right.
Nick, you've been a part of some iconic factions. You're alongside Vicky Guerrero, and then the trio, you, Big E, AJ Lee, has profoundness to a lot of people. Now you transition over here to tagging with your brother. How special is this dynamic, getting to do this part of your career with him?
It's the coolest thing in the world. I've been very fortunate. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the entire world for the 20-year career I had with almost 0 injury days off and 20 plus years now. And now I get tagged with my brother, or at least have him in my corner or watch his back. And seeing him at work every week is the coolest thing ever. I've done so many different things and been a part of, you said faction stuff like Big E and AJ and myself. I will never forget how awesome that was. It was... And the fans bring it up constantly, which is kind of cool. So there's a connection there that it was a fun group. And even though we got beat down a lot, everyone was behind us, and it made it really fun. It made that world title when we all hugged in the middle of the ring. It was a very real moment of pro wrestling's real, but it's a little bit more real sometimes. And that was one of those, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah, guys, watch this. Nick took a deep breath because he thought I forgot about the cheerleading thing when I jumped
I was
right.
actions. Like, oh, cheerleaders? Yeah.
I have a D-Generation X DVD. That's a lot of you guys losing.
You're welcome for that.
What was it like to be in that faction, get that on-screen time, and get to work with those two legends of the industry?
So at first, I was told, hey, Kurt Angle is doing great. Maybe we'll do something where he's your mentor. And I go, he's my hero in real life. This is the greatest thing that could ever happen. And they brought me into TV, and Vince told us that we're going to be a group of cheerleaders, and my heart dropped into my stomach, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess I can quit, right? No, I was just, my heart was broken. And then once you realize what the situation is, you go, hey, I worked my whole life to get a shot, just to get a shot at being on TV with this company. I'm not going to halfway do this or complain. I go, I'm going for it. I'm going to try and make this happen the best. And what turned out is it becomes almost a 12-month run. Ric Flair was an honorary member of DX. So on live events, it would be Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Ric Flair, and they would rotate 2 of those 3 guys every weekend because they were still working full-time live events. So for 3 nights a week, for 6 months, we get to be in the ring with 3 of the greatest of all time. So I'm going, oh man, what are we doing? We're getting beat up. Meanwhile, I'm learning the business 10 times more intensely from some of the greats on a full-time basis. And that was the greatest training I could ever have. And learning from those guys as we moved on. And then when we moved on to different opponents, I could apply some of the greats' input into our matches. And it's the reason I got so good so fast is because you get to be out there and you're like getting the rub is when hey, you're on screen with John Cena. Isn't that cool? This is being in the ring for 30 minutes, 3 nights a week with some of the greatest of all time and learning directly from them.
Mara, when you start in pro wrestling, I'm sure you're looking at these singles matches. You have your ideal of your character, and still we're talking about your maturation as a pro wrestler. You got thrown into a tag team pretty quickly. How unique was it going from learning who you are and how you want to operate to having to incorporate that with somebody so that you guys can make a team?
Right. So I actually started out with a faction metaphor, and then it transpired into us doing more tag team stuff. But I just believe that even in a tag team, you got to find yourself and find the balance. And my tag partner, she was the muscle, the strong person. And I was the speed. I was the hyena, basically. So just trying to find where I fit in and making it work was definitely, it was a task, but also it taught me a lot. And now that I'm here in TNA and doing singles more so, again, I'm just trying to find myself as far as, finding my footing in that space. So it's just been a very interesting journey. And again, I'm so used to tag team. I'll do a tag team all day, but now that I'm doing singles, I'm just ready to show the world what I can do.
In these 5 years, what's been the biggest surprise or unexpected from kind of what you had in mind from how it was going to be as a pro wrestler?
Shoot. For me, I'm very optimistic. So I don't think I had any specific assumptions on what this is. You know what I'm saying? You never know what you're going to be given. You never know where you're going to land. So really just everything, every day is a new surprise. You never know. And I'm just rolling with the punches and adapting.
Nick, when you get to TNA Impact, huge debut. We've already seen you, world title picture, main event picture. What has that meant and what has that been like helping get this product to where we'll see them now going forward? AMC this Thursday, live for the first time. We're going to be live here in Albuquerque on January 22nd and then January 23rd, Tingley Coliseum. Also hosting a night of tapings. TNAWrestling.com for your tickets. But what has it meant to you, your position so far, and how it's helped the company grow?
First and foremost, I, in a prior life, those 20 years, I think 16 of those 20, I was one of a short list of Kofi, Sheamus, Miz that did almost all of the media and all the PR tours and going overseas and just on our own, just promote the company and being a good someone who could talk everyone into the building and let everyone know all the bullet points and everything that's going on with the company. So when I came to TNA, I said, guys, I'm good at this. Put me on everything, any possible step of the way, even if it's full days or it's our off days or people out of town. We all have laptops or an iPad to Zoom. I go, I will do any and all media because I was pushing to get Access TV has been a great partner with TNA for a very long time, and we were pushing to get a little bit more noticed out there, and we worked on that deal from day one. I said, how can I help move us on to somewhere else, and let's get things going. And I pride myself. The Hardys outnumber me in appearances because they're doing the exact same thing. They go, what can we do to help? Because we love this locker room. We love everyone behind the scenes. We just want a few more eyes to let everyone know how great this show is. And we've all, everyone's gone, I'm talking about myself for now, but everyone has gone out of their way. Ross, probably every couple of days is like, hey, Ryan, can you do this? Hey, Mark, can you do this? Can you jump on a Zoom? And everybody just goes, yes, I'm on it. Let's go, because we work as a team and we really want this entire team to succeed.
Ross, you said you've been there, you've done that, you've been at this company, that company, and this might be controversial. I hope it's not. I hope you can give us a full answer.
Sucker flavor?
What makes this locker room special that it's been able to captivate and grow an audience?
Well, I think it's the fact that I think everybody really does. I'll either say like or love everybody. Like there's nobody in the locker room like, oh man, I don't want to deal with him or her. And I think they all respect each other. Nick wants to go out there, and whoever's going after him wants him to have a great match. They want Mara to have a great match. And how many times they come back after a match, and they're getting a standing ovation in the back, and it's like, that doesn't always happen. That didn't always happen. I know Nick could probably comment on that, in his former life. Yeah. But we've done that for, I'll say maybe 5-7 years. I don't know really exactly how long. Where guys will come back after a match, or girls will come back after a match, and they're getting a standing ovation from the other wrestlers. And I think, again, Nick, with a little more time in our company, could say that's one thing that everybody says. It's the locker room, that everybody loves our locker room. Even if they come here just for a short stint, it's the locker room that they love the most. Personally, I think it's the front office, but that's just me.
It's the homecoming on the night for Mara Shade, one of the up-and-coming top talents in the Knockouts division. What is it about Albuquerque that helped you and helped you grow into this thriving actress, athlete, professional wrestler, model, all these plethora of things that you do?
So, Albuquerque has a lot of things going on low-key. I don't feel like a lot of people know what's going on here. Like, there's Netflix studios that came and stuff, so I was able to do a lot with that. We're great in sports, boxing too, you know what I'm saying? We have Holly Holm, we have John Bones Jones, so there are people to look up to. So I think for me, it was definitely networking and finding a group of people who had the same vision as me. And just, again, networking was huge. It's who you know, to be honest, in any situation. So that would be a really big thing that helped me here in Albuquerque is the people. And I love my people, so.
What was the feeling after the very first match, the first time you got to get in there? And maybe it wasn't even in front of a crowd. It was this there at the Performance Center, but getting to run and get people's reaction to your performance. What was that like?
I got a little emotional because that's all you want is to go out and show what you can do. And again, so a little backstory, I got signed and I got a concussion, and they take that serious. So I was out for maybe 2 months, and I came in with a group of about 12 people. So imagine, they're all starting and I'm behind. So I was super motivated to just get it right and get the ball rolling on my progress. So I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want a match. Like, put me in front of people. Like, I want to do a show. I want to do a coconut show. So whenever they first let me know, like, hey, you got a show. Like, you have a match, a singles match against Thea Hale. And I got emotional. And then, I remember Steve Carino, one of the coaches, he gave me a hug and he's like, you did it, kid. Like, go do your thing. And I was just like, damn, like, here we go. And I believe after that match, I cried a little because it's like, this is what I've been fighting for. So it meant a lot to me. And I feel like every match I have, I'm always striving to be great. So I always have this this feeling inside of just tingles and goosebumps. Because I mean, every match is different. Every match matters. You know what I'm saying? Every match is a rep. Every match is telling a story. So
all these different platforms, all these different sports that you've been a part of, are the butterflies different hitting that curtain, walking out in front of those lights with a raucous live audience like we'll have January 22nd and 23rd at the Tingley Coliseum?
Heck yeah, always. Every time just standing there waiting for the music to hit, I don't know, you just can't help but to get like riled up but as soon as you step out into the lights, you gotta, like, it's game on, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I always get nervous because you just want to put on and do well. And I feel like as soon as you stop having that feeling, it's, you should probably stop doing anything, but that feeling's still going for me.
I've got to be backstage for Duke City Championship Wrestling. Yeah, February 7th, we also have an event at El Rey Theater, Thrill It to Edition. You can see that transformation, that really getting into game mode happen, and kind of that excitement and those awe feelings when the curtain hits. And obviously this is for the little more veterans, Ross and Nic. Does that feeling ever change? Do the goosebumps, do the butterflies, does that ever change?
A long time ago, a veteran said the day that doesn't happen at all, then it's like your heart's not in it. You can keep working, you can keep getting paid, but your heart's no longer in it. I've been doing this going on 23 years now, and as cavalier of an attitude I have backstage before the music hits is fine because I'm comfortable and I'm having a good time and I got a game plan in my head. But when that music hits, it changes everything. And 23 years of hearing different music and going out there, and it still is like, yes, this is it. I don't know if I was held too much or not enough, whatever. It just, I was born to do this, and it's no matter where you come from to do it, it works for some people and it doesn't. There's so many people that you come like, this guy's 6'5", charismatic, jacked. Man, this guy's gonna be running this place. And he's like, I didn't know it was like 3 days a week. I can't be away from home. And you're like, holy cow. Like, so many different things happen. You watch people come and go that you think are the next people to take your spot, and they don't, or it doesn't work out, or it doesn't mesh with their lifestyle. So I've been very fortunate. I lived out of a suitcase for 13 of those 19 years, and I loved every second of it.
Ross, any thoughts or feelings on, does the feeling ever change being a part of this magical storytelling industry?
No, it's always cool, and it's when that you're at 7:59, the show starting at 8:00. It's like, alrighty, here we go, and you hear certain music, and it's like, wow, we're live and we're off.
And there's so many, like, some of us can turn our lives off if we wanted to for a few hours or a few days at home. Ross continues. We're at home. We're hanging out. I might go to the gym, and I'm like, I'm relaxing today. Ross is getting emails and making calls and setting up for the next show and getting people in place behind the scenes. And then when he gets there, like he's saying, like 7:59, 8:00. So here we go. And then the show starts. Then after the show, we're all doing the meet and greets and everything else that goes into that, and getting everybody home and everyone behind the scenes. It never ends. We're lucky. Like we work a lot, sure, but we do not work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So to still be excited for 8:00 after having to deal with all that is an even bigger deal.
We must give Ross his roses. Okay, shout out to Ross.
Oh no, this is my cool job getting to be the host of this show. At their show, I am the wardrobe runner. I help put together, take down the ring. I've helped like with one promo, and that is like the coup that I ever did with one wrestler talking with him. But yeah, no, I understand the nuts and the bolts of the production side, and we got to give those guys credit for helping this machine.
You know, one thing we do at the end of the shows is we do these meet and greets, and yeah, there's times I'd rather go leave the venue and
Yeah.
maybe get something to eat or drink.
Remember, Ross has probably been at the venue since 8 that morning, and it's probably 11, 12, 1 a.m. afterwards.
When that show ends, we just start the meet and greets. With the Hardys, it could be anywhere 3, 4. We've done a 5-hour meet and greet, and I mean the great thing with them is they just keep coming. Hey, who's next? And they're friendly. They don't rush people along. It's an experience. You get to meet them, but a lot of our roster does the same thing. Nic's done them. Mars, you're going to be here in Albuquerque doing the meet and greet.
Come see a girl.
It's just it's a cool experience that we give fans.
And I'll just say, as much as that, he says, we've had 2 pay-per-views that didn't last as long as the Hardys signing afterwards, at least that I know of. And it's just, there's no chance where it's like, hey, the sun's coming up, I'm just going to sign my name. Jeff's still going to draw art for his signature on your belt or your toy or anything, because that's that extra giving back part that helped like a little bit of the grassroots movement of TNA getting the word out for everyone.
We were just in El Paso and we did a meet and greet afterwards. They literally signed almost 5 hours and then went directly to the airport.
Yeah.
They didn't even sleep that night. They just went right to the airport and, all right, we're going home now.
Legends.
Is that horse still chasing Ollie in his cabinet?
Might be.
They might be.
Might
They
find
might
out in
make it all
Dallas.
the way to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, Nic, got to bring it up. You have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet Trophy. Apropos, you've been in this position in other companies before with that Money in the Bank briefcase. You can be honest with us all here on the internet. Who do you want to cash in on? Which one of them would be more satisfying for you to defeat?
More satisfying is tricky because, a fellow bad guy is Frankie Kazarian. He's the king, and he's doing some of his best work. He's in the best shape of his life. I'm in all these guys because I get to say nice things about them because I know I'm going to beat one of them at some point. But like Mike Santana, again, stride for stride, the best part of his career is right now happening. Best shape of his life. These 2 guys on the microphone were last night. We're putting some things out there. And I was like, man, I'm in awe of these guys. They all have a plan. They're ready to go. They're in different walks of life, and they're going to beat the hell out of each other. And I don't care which one wins because they have to put it all on the line because this is for the world title. And when they're laying there, like, woof, man, how did I get through that 30-minute bloodbath match? I come walking in and call my shot, and then, like I said before, call my shot, beat somebody up, already wounded and barely able to stand up, which is fine. I don't care. The record books, there's no little asterisk that says, he beat up a wounded guy. They're like, world champ. Hit the credits. We go off air. Very likely could be brand new champion or new champion 2 different times that night. Hit those credits, and I'll see you next week in Albuquerque.
Mara, who do you want to super kick in the face next besides Ryan?
Nobody in specific. I mean, whoever wants to try me, man. So just all I'm saying is I need the one to play with. That's all. Whoever wants that smoke, I'm gonna give it to you.
The hottest rising talent on the TNA knockout side of the roster. My Fight Show, truly, as a fan of TNA Impact Wrestling for, I think I'm going on like 2 decades now, to see the company coming to Albuquerque, to see the mix of veterans and incredible talent that is growing here. Congratulations to everything you guys are growing, and I can't wait to be there live. Thank you guys for coming on My Fight Show.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Thank you, man.
Go Topes.
Hell yeah.
Go Topes. Guys, we'll have more of the show in just a moment. Like I said, couldn't wait for you guys to see that. An absolute highlight of my media career. Pro wrestling, the first love. MMA, this obsession. Bare knuckle, diving head on into covering. Boxing is where a lot of the fans and the crossover, a lot of the interest was really brewed from for MMA, for bare knuckle from the boxing legends. Mine came from pro wrestling. We're going to be incorporating them here in this show as we shout out Duke City Championship Wrestling, NWA New Mexico, for all the help that they've given. We've had Fred Slow on, probably have him on again to preview a card in the future. What they have coming up is the Thrill of Tradition, February 7th. You guys want to be there on January 22nd. That's a Thursday night. AMC Impact Wrestling will be live. You guys just need to like, share, and comment that you shared this episode. You'll be entered in next week's raffle. The quick trivia question for this week, I don't think anybody's answered it yet. So first one to answer, it still gets 2 tickets. Who is the current TNA Impact Heavyweight Champion, and who was the first ever TNA Impact Heavyweight Champion? Either way, you can win tickets to be there live. 2 nights of tapings, the 22nd, the 23rd. Pro wrestling growing and expanding. I think I saw mini wrestling is coming to town here in the near future. A lot going on in the local area. Fight World will be back. APFC. We have Nowhere to Run, MMA. So we're doing this for the local scene, the national scene. Our attempts for a BKFC interview this week fell through. I probably didn't need a 7th guest on top of the 6 that we already have. Again, thank you to Johnny Tapai Jr., Andreas Quintana, Iyean Varela. Thank you to everyone from TNA Impact. For Ross Forman, we'll see him at the meeting greets. Nic Nemeth and Mara Sade, you can see them in the ring this Thursday, AMC, and the following Thursday, you can be there live. CageMinds.com, Mike Adams 2.0 on ESPN Radio Albuquerque. I think we'll have an announcement this weekend, so tune into that. MMA After Hours this week. The episode is already out earlier today. Me and Michael Carlisle, a preview looking at each division and looking at the growth of the UFC. Tomorrow, Pro Wrestling After Hours. My gosh, was there a lot last week in the world of AEW and WWE. We will be covering all that episode and that recording coming out tomorrow. All of these shows available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Truly appreciate everyone for watching tonight. You guys have a great night. My time management skills could be a little bit better. Didn't mean to go over the 2 hours. Thank you guys again. Have a great night.